everyone, Alexa here from the blog, theduvallhomestead.com, where I share farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living. Today I'm sharing a fun one with you. This is how to make homemade popsicles. Allison, can you show me how you pick strawberries? So we just got back from the strawberry farm. We have had an early season this year in terms of farmers markets and food because we've had a lot of warmth and sunshine, which is awesome. So we hurried to the strawberry patch this weekend because it was open early, and we picked 9 pounds of strawberries. So we need to get these washed and preserved somehow. So I'm gonna start by making them into popsicles and then see where I go from there. Having a toddler now is a great reason to make homemade popsicles in our family, but I've been making them for a couple summers now just to have on hand for those really hot days. You definitely crave like an ice cream or just anything cold really when it gets really, really hot. And instead of buying store-bought popsicles with processed sugar, high amounts of sugar, preservatives, additives, whatever else they put in, I figured it's so easy just to make my own. And so that's what I've been doing. I have a couple popsicle molds I've been using the last couple summers, and it's basically as easy as making a yogurt or smoothie mixture, putting it in a popsicle mold and freezing it and then enjoying it later. So it's a very easy recipe and I'm excited to share it with you today. It's a really good idea, especially if you have children, because I feel like with the whole sugar thing, if you can get ahead of your kids' sugar cravings, that is the way to go. What I mean by that is if you have something like candy or Lucky Charms or chocolate, whatever you name it, in your house, and you are eating it, then they're gonna wanna eat it too. And it's a little unfair to say that you can eat something but they can't. At least that's pretty hard to do. So my approach is, let's just make everything from scratch, including sugar. We like to make cookies. I've shared several cookie recipes with you here on YouTube and on the blog, and I'm all about making really delicious food. And so popsicles is gonna fall into that category. I made homemade ice cream. You can make all of the sweet things with your own ingredients and have them be way healthier than the store-bought kind. And it's fun too because you can involve your little ones, and if kids are participating in the cooking of something, they tend to like to eat it more as opposed to just having food show up in front of them. If I have my daughter with me and she's helping me cook a pasta sauce or a meat and she's stirring it, there's like this anticipation building up and she's smelling it and then she eats it. But if I just heat something up for her really quickly, she tends to not like it even if she liked it the day before or something. Anyway, all that to say, homemade popsicles is a win for everybody, really, and you can make these very quickly too. Today I'm juggling several things on my plate between going to the strawberry farm, making these popsicles. I'm also going to show you a finished sewing project that I'm finally excited to share with you after a couple months that it took me to finish it. It was one of those projects that I did not anticipate how long it was going to take or how hard it was going to be, so I'm going to show you that next. Now I'm going to be using kefir for this recipe as well as yogurt. Kefir is fermented milk. If you're not familiar with it, kefir grains eat at the lactose in the milk, which make the milk a lot easier to digest. They also add a lot of probiotics to your milk. You may have seen kefir from the store, kind of next to the yogurt aisle. Homemade kefir is even better because it's super fresh. So this is also a sneaky way to get probiotics in your diet or your kids' diet. We personally eat smoothies every morning with kefir in them, so I already have a lot of kefir on hand, so this is no problem for me to whip this up. I will have a link below on how to make kefir if you are brand new to that. It's on the blog. So I'm going to start by straining my kefir. These are the kefir grains I keep in the jar here. I like to use raw milk in my kefir, but you can also use a good whole milk. You just want to avoid ultra pasteurized. Lightly pasteurized is fine. Technically you can use ultra pasteurized. I just like to avoid it because it basically kills all the good bacteria in your milk. Of course, you want to make sure your raw milk is safe and trusted. Ours is. We're very lucky to have a very good raw milk source next to us. It seriously sells out within hours or days of hitting the shelf at our grocery store, so it's definitely a win for us. Put those grains back, and I'm going to refill that with milk for our smoothie tomorrow. Now I'm just going to gather the strawberries, cut the stems off if I need to. I always keep a bowl nearby for the compost strawberries, and I basically give these to our chickens. Okay, I'm gonna measure out 1 cup of kefir, and I'm adding this to my Nutribullet smoothie blender. We're gonna blend this up. Any kind of blender will do. gonna do 3/4 cup whole milk yogurt. And then about 1/8 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. This is going to give it a nice creamy flavor and texture. I'm going to add my strawberries. About 1.5 cups of strawberries. I just add them whole because we're going to blend it up anyway. And I'm going to squeeze a 1/2 lemon. I'm going to add about 1/2 of a small banana, so about that much. A dash of vanilla extract. Homemade is always best if you have it. I've got mine on the counter right now, it's just not ready yet. And then I'm gonna add honey. This is our sweetener. I would say about 2 tablespoons. Okay, we're gonna mix this up in the blender and pour it into our popsicle molds. Oh, I just tried that. I licked the blade, it's so good. This tastes like summer to me. These are my preferred popsicle molds to use. I'll leave a link below. I think I got these from Amazon a while ago, but I'll have to check. These popsicles are so delicious. I cannot wait to enjoy them as the summer goes on. I already had one as I'm editing this video today. And then carefully put this in the freezer and you let it sit for probably 6 hours or so. I'm gonna do overnight because we're in the later part of the day now and I have to go get some other chores done. And of course my daughter loves them and it is an 85-degree day today, so perfect day to pull these popsicles out. Okay, if you have been following my channel, you may remember I talked about sewing a dress for my daughter. I'm a pretty beginner sewer, although I've sewn a lot of things like curtains and slipcovers and a whole bunch of random stuff, but nothing that has required a pattern. So this is my first time following a pattern, and I shared some of my frustrations with you all, but I don't think I shared all of them. However, I will tell you, I did finish the dress. I wanted to update you because so many of you responded and said that you are also a sewer, but you don't follow patterns like myself. Just sew this. Apparently there's a lot of terms that I don't know when it comes to sewing, like on the fold, mirror set, mirror image, placket piece, ruffles. I mean, I know what ruffles is. Elastic versus bias. So some of these I'm familiar with, some of them I'm not. Luckily, my instructions are very detailed. So this is definitely more frustrating than I anticipated. This is the front bodice piece. There was like a basting stitch I was supposed to do here and I didn't really do that, so I did a regular stitch, assuming that's right. We'll see how that turns out. And then you have to do a liner, so you basically do the same thing again. I try to just think, you know, let's get down to basics. What actually needs to happen here? And I think about, you know, I know what it feels like to put 2 pieces of fabric together and create something, so I'm trying to just do that and not let the instructions trip me up at all. But I'm a visual learner, so if I saw a video of someone doing this, I would be fine, but reading it is hard for me. So we're doing the gathering stitch. This is what creates the really pretty ruffle on the skirt. Also what created a lot of frustration because I could not figure out how to set the gathering stitch on my machine, even though I've done it before, I couldn't remember. working on the skirt and the sleeves for the dress. I'm hoping this is my last day, but I don't want to get my hopes up. However, it needs to be my last day because we're going on a trip in a couple days and I really want this dress for Allison for the trip. And this has become one of those projects that it's just sitting and looking at me and I feel like it's beating me because it's taking me so long. And I just want it to be done so bad. So hopefully you'll get to see the final product really soon. Okay, I've gotten to the part of the dress where I'm going to insert the elastic around the sleeve, around the wrist. And I would so love to be done with this dress. I'm not gonna lie. It's been so long that I've taken to finish this because it's like little bits of time here and there and then I mess up and then I have to undo everything and then redo it. But it's finally starting to come together and that is really exciting. Basically I just left a hole open in my sleeve seam here and then put a safety pin on the elastic. I'm pushing it through the opening. It's a process I have done before. Let me see that beautiful dress. So I wanted to let you know I finished the dress. It took me a lot longer than I thought, but going forward, if I were to do this again, I know how I can make it go faster. Being able to craft something like that you can then see worn, as opposed to just picking it up from the store. Not like there's anything wrong with that, I do it all the time, but it just is a little more special when you can do it yourself. So I'll be looking forward to seeing her in this all summer long. I'll have the full recipe for these popsicles on the blog at theduvallhomestead.com, and you can just go and print the recipe out and save it in your recipe book for later. All right, well, if you're brand new to my page, thank you so much for joining me in making homemade strawberry popsicles. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every week I post a new video on farm to table recipes and homemade natural living. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.